Joy Behar battles with Ted Cruz on The View. Hi, welcome to JOA. If you're new to my channel, please click subscribe and click the bell button so you'll be the first to know when I upload. Also, I'd really appreciate it if you actually subscribe and click the bell button. Please also give me a thumbs up and share this video. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for the support so far. So Ted Cruz was on The View today promoting his book, and I'm going to show you the clip and I'm going to come back with some more.
Just a few minutes ago, you said, and correctly, the country is suffering. There are many people out of work, but you would like to open safely, follow the science, protect small business, and all of that. But Republican Florida Governor DeSantis, for example, recently lifted all coronavirus restrictions on businesses, allowing bars and restaurants to open at full capacity without a mask mandate. He said they won't be closing anything going forward. Now, what's your response to Governor DeSantis's policy, one, and would you do the same thing in Texas if you could?
So, yes, we should reopen. And I actually think if you look at Florida, if you look at Texas, the death rates have been much, much lower there than, for example, states like New York, New Jersey, states with Democratic governors, where the death rates have been enormously through the roof. New York, in particular, has led the country in death rate, and I think it had a lot to do with the Democratic governor there, Governor Cuomo, sending people who had COVID into nursing homes. Well, the death rate is 3 times as high as the death rate in Texas or Florida. I'm sorry?
I'm talking about Florida right now, not New York. New York got hit very early, and a lot of people were coming in without any kind of sanctions on it.
But the government policy was different, and the policy made a difference. The government policy was different, and the policy made a difference. The policy of the governors of New York and New Jersey of sending people who were COVID positive into nursing homes was catastrophic, and it resulted in a horrific death rate. No, I'm saying we should actually listen to sound science and protect people and keep them safe.
Let me jump in here. It's a slight pivot here.
I'd like to jump in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Whoopi.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I just wanted to say I do want to point out that had the man who is running the country right now given us this information in January when he had it, when we could have maybe done something a little differently, it might have worked differently. I just wanted to point that out. It's not about whose people died more. People died and they didn't have to.
So it's pretty obvious that this man is deflecting the question. It's also pretty obvious that because Ted Cruz actually ran for presidency in 2016 and he did opt it out, and Trump just basically belittled his wife, like, on Twitter. I mean, belittled is even a small word. He basically just picked on his wife, calling her ugly in comparison to Melania Trump. Well, I mean, Melania got all them surgeries, baby. Come on now. Melania's a beautiful woman, but I mean, I think she looks more of she looks like a morphed, a mannequin now with all the surgery. She really didn't need the surgeries, to be honest with you. So, in all honest opinion, let's be real here. Like, this whole pandemic could have stopped. This whole pandemic could have lessened to what it really is now if we all were told about the situation firsthand, according to the tapes of Bob Woodward, about Trump knowing about it and Trump saying it is more scrutineous than the actual flu. So that's fact, and we should have pretty much known about it. And I'm going to listen to a virologist from the CDC who's pretty much saying that we're going to get a vaccine at the third quarter of 2021 next year. And while Trump is saying that, this man, and I'm paraphrasing here, seems confused and he didn't answer the question right. Like, I'm going to listen to a doctor that's has a degree and has expertise in virology rather than a reality TV show president who doesn't know a thing about infectious disease. And then I also heard that they have a guy that's working under Trump, under the coronavirus task force, that's basically talking on Fox News and that's doing commentary about science and medicine when, according to reports, he has no expertise in science or medicine, and he's undermining in some ways what Dr. Fauci is saying. And even Dr. Fauci, as I see here, basically spoke out about it, and I quote, he says, if you listen to Fox News, with all due respect to the fact that they do have some good reporters, some of the things that they report there are outlandish, to be honest with you. Fauci also says he has differences with Scott Atlas, who's basically the guy who I'm talking about here, and he calls an outlier. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous that we have, number one, a man, Scott Atlas, who's obviously have no expertise, according to reports, with infectious diseases like Dr. Fauci. We have Jared Kushner, who's going overseas, who has no sense of expertise in politics and international diplomacy, who's talking to my people overseas that speaks my language to sort of some type of shameless peace deal that's not inclusive to Palestinians, only because the racial disparity with Palestinians is very low because we aren't the majority. So, I mean, the racial disparity with blacks is very high, and politicians know that they need the black vote in order to be elected to some sort of, political title. So they're going to kiss the black people's ass, although realistically, perceptionally wise, they don't care about black people, point blank in the period. I mean, let's talk about systematic racism that still exists to this day, but under different circumstances compared to 400 years ago. So, I mean, it's just, this administration is very hypocritical. Ted Cruz, he's an educated man, went to Harvard, went to Princeton. I was reading a biography and they're calling the man Hispanic. The man is not Hispanic. Maybe his last name is Hispanic, but his mom is like 3/4 like Irish, like she's Caucasian, and his dad is Cuban, but a lot of Cubans, I don't know, so trust me, but let me not say what I really want to say. So, I mean, and he's Canadian, like he's from Canada, he's not even American. So, I mean, it's just like, but I mean, like I said, like he has a degree, he was a adjunct professor, so, he has an expertise in working in the Supreme Court. But to deflect a question, and I hate when people say Barack Obama or X, Y, and Z, but Andrew Cuomo did this. Joy Behar specifically asked you about DeSantis, specifically asked you about the governor in Florida who didn't know that viruses, this COVID virus can be asymptomatic, and in reality caused Florida to even be like on the top tier of people being affected by this COVID. So, I mean, it's just like we live in tumultuous times, and this is just like crazy what's going on at the moment. We really don't have a leader in the White House. And now I personally feel, just because Trump has lowered the standard for anyone to become presidency, I think now going on forward that anybody's going to run. Like, it's crazy, and people overseas in European countries are going to look at us even crazier now, because a lot of them, they think we're stupid, and they're laughing even more about, the situation that's going on here in the United States of America. And we are supposed to be the most developed country in the world, yet we can't get this virus intact. We can't get this COVID intact. And we're still going through a pandemic that should have been stopped months ago. And according to Fauci, it's going to get worse because flu season is around the corner. And y'all know when it gets cold, people start sniffling and all of that stuff. They still know what the hell I mean. I see me in class. People be sniffling and stuff. So, I mean, people get sick. The flu shots are around. So, I mean, this COVID I see, and according to Fauci, is we're going to get another influx of this pandemic going forward. And it's just a really crazy time. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments below. Please do subscribe and click the bell button so you'll be the first to know when I upload. Deuces. Yay!